Somewhere out there, there's an individual no more intelligent than you, no more talented, no more deserving, yet he's seizing opportunities that could have been yours. While you linger in hesitation, holding out for the perfect timing that will never arrive, he's pushing forward. He's building momentum, increasing his wealth, strengthening his influence. Every step he takes is one that could have belonged to you. And if 5 years from now, you find yourself broke, forgotten, and stuck in the same place, there will be no scapegoat to blame. The brutal reality is that life doesn't hand out rewards based on fairness. It responds to initiative. The world favors those who act, not those who wait. So let me ask you this. Are you finally prepared to stop observing your life from the sidelines? Or will you continue letting others grab the success that fear stopped you from chasing? That nagging unease you feel at the back of your mind, that quiet, persistent voice whispering, what if I never reach my potential? What if I let it all slip away? That fear is trying to wake you up. And truthfully, you should be concerned, because every moment you spend idling, someone else is making progress. He's accumulating the fortune you dream about. He's living the lifestyle you envision for yourself. He's driving the vehicle that lives on your vision board. And the cruel twist, he's not any better than you. The only real difference is that he decided to bet on himself. You stayed still. He moved. If you don't choose to act right now, you'll watch your chances fade into the distance. Opportunities won't wait for you. Time won't hit pause while you figure things out. There is no reset button, no redo, just the moment you're in now. And if you keep procrastinating, you'll be left behind. It won't matter how much potential you had. It won't matter how great your intentions were. All that will matter is what you didn't do. Let's strip away the excuses. It doesn't matter where you started. It doesn't matter how tough your circumstances are or what setbacks you've faced. If you're out of shape, if you're broke, if you feel unseen or insignificant, that's not the world's fault. It's yours. No one is coming to pull you out of the pit. Nobody is going to deliver success to your doorstep wrapped with a bow just because you believe you deserve it. Life isn't built that way. If you've convinced yourself that achievement is owed to you, you're already defeated. Every successful person has been exhausted, discouraged, anxious. The difference is they didn't stop. They didn't fold when the weight got heavy. They acknowledged the struggle and moved forward anyway. Champions act in spite of their feelings. Those who fail always seem to have a reason, a justification, a complaint. Winners figure things out. Losers explain why they couldn't. That's the harsh but simple truth. You grumble about being overwhelmed? Pressure is a privilege. Adversity isn't a curse. It's your sharpening stone. It separates those who evolve from those who shrink. The moment you label discomfort as your enemy is the moment you hand over your strength. Weakness fears resistance. Strength embraces it. True power is born in the storm. You've been fed the lie that comfort is the goal, that happiness means ease, that struggle is to be avoided. Nonsense. The people who changed the course of history weren't seeking peace, they were chasing purpose. They wanted to build legacies, forge empires, do something that would outlive them. And what about you? You drag yourself out of bed every day dreading the hours ahead, moaning about fatigue, searching for reasons to rest before you've earned it. Enough. Do you think the apex predators of the animal kingdom wake up debating whether they're in the mood to hunt? No. Because the second they hesitate, they die. That's how nature works. You either advance or you perish. You rise or you crumble. You fight or you forfeit. If what you want is ease, then be prepared to surrender. This world was not designed for those who only move when it feels good. You think Alexander the Great built his empire in pursuit of leisure? You think conquerors like Genghis Khan led vast armies across continents because they wanted relaxation? No. They rose each day prepared to go to war, against enemies, against chaos, against their own doubts. Life is a battle. Every day, you are in combat, with your weaknesses, with your doubts, with the countless others who want the same things you do. And if you're not actively pushing forward, you're already falling behind. But what if you're tired? What if you're down? I don't care. That makes you human, not helpless. Everyone feels like giving up sometimes. Everyone battles inner storms. I've been isolated, betrayed, knocked down, but I refuse to stay down. That's what separates those who win from those who watch. The line that divides the victorious from the defeated isn't the absence of pain or fear. It's the refusal to let those feelings dictate your future. Your circumstances are real, but they don't define you. Your choices do. So rise, stop hoping, start acting. Your life won't change until you do. You're sitting there, wallowing in your own sorrow, drowning in self-pity while everything you could have had is slipping further and further from your grasp. This world isn't designed to uplift you, it's built to keep you subdued. It thrives when you're distracted, defeated, and emotionally paralyzed. Society doesn't want you to rise, it prefers you helpless, quiet, and stuck in your misery. And the worst part? You're playing right into their hands. Let's get one thing straight. No one is going to lose sleep over your situation. Your frustrations, your challenges, your disappointments, they don't matter to the world. The only thing that counts is this. Are you winning or are you not? And if you're still waiting for something to change without doing anything about it, then you're losing. That's the hard truth. But there's a silver lining. You can flip the script if, and only if, You open your eyes to reality. Stop fantasizing that help is on the way. It isn't. There is no cavalry. There's only you. You have to be your own savior, your own solution. You've got to get out of bed each day with a fire in your chest and a mission in your heart. The mission? To conquer, to take control, to carve out the life that's waiting for you to claim it. You can either choose commitment and build your future, or you can pick comfort and be stuck in a cycle of regret. Discipline elevates you. Regret destroys you. And the decision is entirely in your hands. Let me share a tale with you, not some fairy tale from school or a feel-good story from social media influencers who've never faced real hardship. This is raw, and it's real. Once there were two men. They were born into similar circumstances, no advantages, no trust funds, no connections to fall back on, same environment, same problems, same potential, but their lives unfolded in drastically different ways. The first man, he saw life as an open battlefield. He believed that everything he ever wanted was already out there, just waiting to be taken. He understood that success wasn't handed out. It was earned, usually the hard way. He recognized the possibility of failure, the likelihood of rejection, the pain that comes with striving, but he leaned into it. He moved anyway. He acted despite his fears because he knew standing still meant guaranteed defeat. The second man, he let caution guide his every move. He feared the unknown. He chose safety over risk, comfort over ambition. His life was a waiting game, waiting for conditions to be perfect, for fear to disappear, for luck to strike. But none of that came. Time marched on. And while the first man fought his battles, broke through resistance, and bled for every inch of progress, he built something extraordinary. He became someone people noticed, someone people respected. He didn't inherit his legacy, he forged it. Meanwhile, the other man faded into obscurity, one of the millions, indistinguishable from the crowd, stuck in survival mode, watching life pass him by, not because he lacked talent, not because he lacked opportunity, but because he lacked the courage to risk failure. And now, you're standing in that exact same place, at a dividing point. One direction leads to prosperity, strength, influence, and self-respect, but it's a road lined with discomfort and hard decisions. The other, it promises security, familiarity, and ease, but it ends in mediocrity, stagnation, and the pain of wondering what could have been. That is the real danger, living your whole life wondering, what if? Is it riskier to try and stumble or to never try and live in quiet disappointment until the end? Failure is just a lesson. It's a bruise, not a scar. But regret? That's permanent. It lingers. It whispers to you when the world is quiet, reminding you of the chances you didn't take. People often ask, what if I go all in and still lose? And my answer is simple, then you rise. You dust yourself off, you go again. That's how the game works. You don't win by avoiding the fight, you win by staying in it. You get knocked down, you adapt, and you return sharper. No man who ever built a kingdom did it by hiding from risk. Look at the world's greats, the builders, the conquerors, the innovators. They all took leaps without guarantees. They bet on themselves when no one else would. And yeah, they could have lost everything, but they understood that not risking was the real loss. And here's the part they never teach you. Those who refuse to step up, who shy away from bold action, always end up working for the ones who didn't. That's the natural order of things. The hesitant serve the fearless. The timid support the bold. That's how it's always been. So every time you delay, every moment you stall, you are silently deciding to be ruled instead of rising to rule. You want a different outcome? Then move, act, choose courage over comfort. The clock doesn't care about your fears, and time isn't going to pause while you think it through. The door is open, but only for those who are willing to walk through it, no matter how uncertain it looks. So the real question isn't whether you're ready. The question is, how much longer are you going to wait? No chains hold you back. No one is keeping you small. The truth is, you're the one choosing submission. You're the one allowing yourself to stay powerless. That isn't a sentence handed to you by fate. It's a decision made day after day through inaction. So, let me ask you something. Are you the type of man who steps forward and takes control of his own fate? Or are you the kind who stands on the sidelines, watching someone else seize the life you secretly wish you had? Because time isn't going to wait while you figure it out. The clock is always moving, and every moment you hesitate, every opportunity you let slip by, brings you closer to the day when it'll be too late to do anything about it. Ask yourself, really think, how many more years do you think you've got left? Because I'll be honest with you, it's probably fewer than you assume. Each passing second is one less you'll ever have. That isn't pessimism, that's not some dark scare tactic. It's the cold, unavoidable truth of life. Your time here is limited. One day, your story will end. And when that day comes, what will people remember about you? Will they say, you were a force to be reckoned with, a man who pursued greatness without apology, who dared to chase what he wanted and carved his own path? Or will your legacy be a cautionary tale, a man who could have been something, but chose feet, or over fight? The discomfort you feel when you imagine taking a leap, stepping outside your comfort zone, putting yourself at risk, that discomfort is nothing compared to the crushing weight you'll feel if you reach the end of your days knowing you did nothing meaningful with your time. Regret doesn't just sting, it haunts. It digs in and stays. It's more agonizing than any setback or hardship, because while failure can be fixed and setbacks can be overcome, lost time, that never comes back. There's no refund on the years you spent hesitating, no second chance to relive your youth or reignite your prime. Understand this, nobody is coming to pull you out of your situation. No hand will reach down to rescue you from the pit you chose to sit in. Life isn't designed to hand you fairness, and it sure as hell isn't built to care about your tears or your reasons. Yes, some people were born into better circumstances, some got a head start, so what? Crying about it doesn't make you stronger, complaining won't build anything. The world doesn't reward the whiners, it rewards those who take initiative, those who act, who move, who fight. The men who climb are the ones who stop making excuses and start executing a plan. Tell me this, who do you believe has real influence in this world? Is it the timid, the passive, the ones who wait around hoping the universe does them a favor? Or is it the ones who stare uncertainty in the face and press forward anyway? The ones who step into chaos and declare it theirs to conquer? Power never belonged to the smartest man in the room, and it sure doesn't go to the most cautious. Power is seized by the fearless, by the ones who say, I'll go first, even when no guarantee exists. You think the giants of industry, the icons of history, the rulers and pioneers, got where they are by avoiding discomfort? You think they sat around waiting for conditions to be perfect? No, they stormed forward when others stood still. They placed bets on their own potential when everyone else hesitated. And that's the difference. That's the only real dividing line between those who rise and those who fade into obscurity. And where are you right now? Sitting on the edge of a decision. You're overthinking. You're doubting yourself. You're letting the voice of fear dictate your direction. Every day you delay, you're shrinking. Every time you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, you're training your brain to accept weakness. That hesitation becomes a habit, and the longer you let it control you, the harder it becomes to break. You're conditioning yourself to stay average. And do you know what happens then? You wake up one day and realize the version of yourself you once dreamed of becoming is gone, lost to years of self-sabotage. I've seen men waste decades. Strong, intelligent men, by the time they hit their 40s, they've got nothing to show for all the time they were given. No influence, no freedom, no pride, just an endless cycle of unfulfilled potential. And the worst part, they could have had everything. They had the skills, they had the chances, but they were paralyzed by fear. They chose comfort, they backed away from challenge, and now they walk through life like shadows, watching others live out their ambitions, while they're left clinging to the fantasy of what might have been. That's the future you're walking toward, unless you make a change now. Right now. Not tomorrow, not when it feels right. There is no perfect time, there is only now, and if you keep hesitating, you're not just delaying success, you're burying it. Take ownership of your mind. Train yourself to face risk, not avoid it. Move forward, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. Because the life you want doesn't live behind comfort, it lives behind courage. If it doesn't shake you to the core that you've stood by while others seized everything you ever wanted, then maybe nothing will. You're standing at a crossroads. One direction keeps you trapped in denial, clinging to the illusion that somehow someday things will change on their own. The other demands you snap out of your stupor and seize command of your existence. You get one life. That's it. One shot. So what are you doing with it? Are you stepping into the arena, or are you wasting your time pacing in the waiting room of fear? Let's get brutally honest. Your greatest opponent isn't failure, it's time. And it's slipping through your fingers every second you pause to doubt, every moment you procrastinate, every excuse you whisper to comfort yourself. Time doesn't pause, it doesn't wait for you to feel ready. And yet here you are, living like you've got endless tomorrows. You don't. You never did. Take a moment and observe the people around you. How many of them once had fire in their eyes, big plans, bold dreams, and how many of them are now shadows of that former ambition, worn down by years of indecision? You've seen it. Men who once talked of greatness, now quietly surviving, working jobs they despise, aging with frustration and hopelessness. That's the price of delay. That's where you're headed if you don't wake up and fight. Fear isn't some abstract enemy, it's the silent poison that slowly weakens your will, one unmade decision at a time. And what's worse? You've given it permission. You let it tell you to stay quiet when you should speak. You let it tell you to wait when you should act. You allow it to strip away your strength and convince you you're not enough, not ready, not worthy. You lie to yourself with phrases like, next week, next month, next year, as if the calendar owes you anything. It doesn't. The only thing you ever truly possess is this moment, this hour, this decision. And that choice determines whether your life becomes something powerful or something forgettable. So let's ask the question you've been avoiding. What happens if nothing changes? What becomes of your life if you keep walking the same path, stuck in hesitation, paralyzed by fear? Here's your answer. You'll wake up a decade from now, filled with resentment. You'll look around and realize the world kept moving while you stayed stuck. You'll see others, maybe younger, maybe less talented, build legacies while you barely survive. And the bitterness you'll feel? It won't be directed at them, it will be aimed squarely at the man in the mirror. Because you'll know deep down that you could have done more, you could have pushed harder, you could have risen, but you didn't, and now those years, the best ones, are gone, and they're never coming back. What you'll feel then isn't frustration, it's self-contempt. It's knowing you had the potential to create something remarkable, but you let the clock run out because comfort felt safer. Meanwhile, the ambitious ones, the relentless ones, took the very things you once dreamed of, the influence, the income, the legacy. And you? You'll become a cautionary tale, another man who faded into the background while giants rose. That's what happens when men refuse to embrace risk. They're not just left behind, they're enslaved by the consequences of their cowardice. Not necessarily in chains, but in spirit, in pride, in control. They become servants to the bold. The men who took chances now call the shots, while the timid obey orders. Emotionally, mentally, financially. If you won't act, you'll spend your life at the mercy of those who did. Every time you say, "I'll wait," you're signing a silent contract to stay small. You're choosing to follow. You're surrendering your future to those who didn't hesitate. That's the raw truth. There's a line that separates those who lead from those who get led, and that line is drawn in risk. A man who fears risk will never hold power. The man who embraces it, even when uncertain, builds empires. You want to know the difference between those who win and those who remain stuck? The loser constantly wonders, what if I mess up? The winner, he asks, what if I don't try? The loser waits to feel ready. The winner jumps in and figures it out along the way. The loser waits for validation. The winner takes what's his without asking for permission. This planet doesn't belong to the hesitant. It belongs to the fearless. Those who understand that safety is an illusion and comfort is a cage. You can keep pretending that your small life is good enough, that playing it safe is the wise path, but deep down, you know it isn't. Because every time you scroll past success, every time you see someone doing what you wish you could, something inside you aches. That ache is the real you, the you that knows you were meant for more. And if you keep ignoring it, burying it under routines and excuses, then brace yourself, because the future is coming. And it doesn't wait for anyone. If you don't rise, if you don't take what's possible, you better get used to watching stronger men do it for you. The world isn't built to honor the timid. It forgets those who sit quietly and remembers those bold enough to carve out their destiny. Every instant you hesitate, someone else is gaining ground, seizing the exact opportunities that could have been yours. You assume that success will wait patiently for you to be ready. It won't. While you stall, someone with the same challenges, the same doubts, and the same limitations is making his move. He didn't wait for someone to validate him. He didn't whine about the odds. He acted relentlessly, without permission, without delay. And now, he's thriving, he's powerful, he's taken control of the life you imagined for yourself. Meanwhile, you're still stuck planning, overthinking, and stalling. Understand what that means. Every pause you take, someone else accelerates. He's training while you relax. He's building his future while you procrastinate. He's stacking victories while you contemplate taking your first step. And eventually, he'll outpace you so completely that you'll never catch up. Because that's how this world works. Dominate or get stepped on. There is no safe zone, no neutral ground. You either win or get swept aside. There's no reward for being average, no trophy for almost. If this truth makes you uncomfortable, good. It should. That's the discomfort of awakening. Men who avoid risk get exploited. You believe being cautious will shield you from failure, but in reality, it guarantees it. Caution isn't wisdom when it paralyzes you. It's surrender. The world doesn't spare the hesitant. It consumes them. Time and again, history has proven that the passive get ruled, the scared get ignored, and the indecisive fade into irrelevance. And worse, they accept it. They don't even resist. They become background noise in a world led by those who are brave enough to act. Is that what you're settling for? A forgettable life? Just another faceless gear in someone else's machine? You were meant for more, but you've traded that potential for comfort. You could have been someone who reshaped the world around you, but instead you're watching from the sidelines, convinced that maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe next year will be your time. But let me be brutally clear. If you don't start now, if you don't grab hold of your purpose today, you'll never get another chance. Your name will vanish. Your effort will mean nothing. You will leave no mark. No one will talk about you. No one will care. And deep down, you'll know you had the tools, the fire, the shot, but you let fear smother it. While you drown in indecision, the ambitious are making moves. The ones who understand the stakes are outworking you, outlasting you, outmaneuvering you. You cry that life is unfair. That's the first honest thing you've noticed. Life is ruthless. It's not about what's fair. It's about who's ready to fight. The battlefield doesn't care about your pain. It doesn't reward your emotions. It respects strength, endurance, and the willingness to act despite the odds. So, are you a competitor or just another victim waiting to be broken by reality? The pressure is real and the clock never stops. You rise today or you vanish forever. No more rationalizing, no more delaying, no more pretending that you've got infinite time to get serious. That window is closing, fast. So, ask yourself this. Are you finally going to step up and become someone who commands his path? Or will you keep drifting like a shadow, unseen, irrelevant, and easily forgotten? Because that's what you are right now, a ghost. You walk the earth without presence, without impact, without significance. People don't fear you, they don't respect you, they barely acknowledge your existence. Why? Because you've chosen invisibility through inaction. You've wasted years spectating while others claim territory that should have been yours. You've watched them ascend while you stayed gullisway. You to your distractions, video games, social media, temporary escapes. You keep whispering to yourself, one day I'll get serious. But that day never arrives because you never commit. You're stuck in a cycle of delay and denial, waiting for some mythical moment when everything feels right. But here's the cold truth. That moment doesn't exist. The perfect time is a fantasy. All you have is now, and if you don't seize it, you'll spend the rest of your life wishing you had. The men who win, they don't wait. They charge forward with fire, with purpose, with zero tolerance for excuses. And every second you remain idle, you're giving them more room to grow while your own chances shrink. The window of opportunity doesn't stay open forever. Eventually it closes, and when it does, you'll be left watching others live the life you once dreamed of. The life that should have been yours, and that feeling, that crushing, irreversible regret, will follow you to the grave. So, make your choice. Do you keep hiding behind fear, or do you finally rise and fight for your legacy? Let's get one thing straight. Every moment you sit still, unsure or afraid to commit, someone else out there is taking control of the game. While you're caught in hesitation, another man is climbing the ladder, carving out his space, and solidifying a position that could have been yours. And if you're not prepared to battle for your future, if you're not willing to fight for the life you claim you want, then maybe you don't truly deserve it. So the real question isn't whether or not you want success. Everyone says they do. The question is this: what are you willing to do right now to prove it? Not tomorrow, not some vague plan next week, this moment. You talk about ambition, you speak of dreams, but talk is cheap. Show up for yourself. You say you're hungry for influence, then act like it. You say you want to command attention and respect, then go out and earn it. Nobody's going to drop greatness at your doorstep. The universe doesn't operate on wishes. It rewards bold movement. It favors the man who doesn't wait for perfect conditions, but charges into the storm regardless of how he feels. Enough of the waiting, enough of the lazy optimism that somehow, someday, life will magically shift in your favor. It won't. You need to make it happen. You need to build a version of yourself that forces the world to pay attention. Forge a path so relentless people have to respect you. Become the kind of person who walks into a room and immediately commands presence, not because he begged for it, but because he earned it through discipline, effort, and grit. The other choice? Stay stuck, stay stagnant, remain in the shadows while others climb. Be overlooked, unimportant, powerless, and worst of all, completely forgettable. Let's not sugarcoat it. If you read this and walk away unchanged, if you keep living like every day isn't your last chance, then you're already losing. This is your warning shot. This is the turning point, right here, right now. Either you move forward with purpose, or you begin the slow fade into irrelevance. There's no middle path. There's no neutral ground. Life doesn't pause so you can catch up. It keeps moving, and it will leave you behind. If you're not evolving, you're being erased. So ask yourself, are you finally ready to claim what's yours? Or are you going to keep lying to yourself that you've got time? Because let me remind you, the world rewards the assertive. It belongs to the driven. Only those willing to risk, to rise, to sacrifice, ever taste greatness. And if you're sitting around waiting for it's okay, yes, or tainty before taking the leap, you'll wait forever. Security is an illusion. Waiting is just another word for fear in disguise. Success isn't handed out like a gift. It's taken, earned through persistence and sacrifice. Power doesn't surrender to those who lack the will to chase it. It yields to the ones who stand their ground and demand it through their actions. There is no room at the top for the passive. The clock is ticking. Each second wasted is a second closer to regret. And regret? That's the final prison. That's the cost of comfort. The realization that you had everything you needed to win and you let it slip away. You can either face that pain now, through struggle, through growth, through discipline, or you can face it later, drowning in memories of what might have been. But don't mistake the difference. Pain from effort builds strength. Pain from inaction breeds weakness. And eventually that weakness becomes your identity. Look around. Do you want to be the guy who almost made it? The one people talk about with pity, not respect? The man who had dreams but no fire? Or do you want to be the one they remember? The one who refused to accept mediocrity? The one who fought for his future like it was life or death? Because it is. Your life, as it stands, is being shaped by every choice you make, or fail to make. In the end, there are only two kinds of people. Those who stepped up, and those who faded away. Those who owned their path, and those who let fear steer the wheel. You already know who you've been up until now. The question is, who are you going to become from this moment forward? Stop waiting, stop wishing, stop lying to yourself. This is the moment that counts. Will you rise to meet it or let it pass like all the others? Get up, make a decision, make a change, claim the life you keep dreaming about. Because if you don't, someone else will. And when they do, you'll watch from the sidelines, knowing deep down that it should have been you. So choose, right now, will you lead or will you be forgotten?